Have you ever been scrolling online and bam, you get hit with a video that promises to solve some health problem you didn't even know you had? In this endless sea of content, it's getting so hard to figure out what's real and what's just trying to sell you something. So let's figure out how to spot the difference between fact and fiction.
And it always starts with a hook, just like this, right? A simple, powerful promise that speaks right to a feeling we all know. It feels personal, it feels hopeful, and it just makes you want to lean in and hear the secret.
And wow, these videos are so seductive. They'll often use these really personal stories and make these huge dramatic claims to grab your attention. You know, you're told that one simple thing, a teaspoon of some spice or a 5-minute habit, can reverse years of decline. It's a really compelling story.
And that's the big question, isn't it? When one video is promising you a miracle cure and the next one is warning you about some hidden danger, how in the world are we supposed to find the truth? How do we protect ourselves in this digital jungle of advice?
To really understand what we're up against, first we've got to pull back the curtain and see the system that's pushing these miracle cures. And some recent research from the University of São Paulo did just that. And, well, what they found is pretty staggering.
Okay, I want you to just let this number sink in for a moment. 513. That's how many misleading, totally unscientific health ads these researchers found in just 2 days. And that was just from a single social media company's platforms. It's a complete fire hose of misinformation, and it's all paid for.
So what are they actually selling? Well, the data shows these ads are laser-focused on our biggest vulnerabilities. Nearly a third of them target sexual health. Others make really dangerous claims about serious conditions like diabetes, even telling patients to ditch proven treatments like insulin for some unproven natural cure.
And here's where it gets kind of scary. The technology they're using is getting incredibly sophisticated. This isn't just text anymore. Over 60% of the video ads actually used artificial intelligence to create deep fakes, manipulating the voice and the image of trusted people to create completely fake endorsements. And this is a huge part of their strategy. They steal credibility from people we already trust. In Brazil, a super well-known doctor, Dr. Drauzio Varella, had his image stolen and used in more than a quarter of these fake ads. They'll even illegally slap on the logo of official health agencies to make it all look legit.
And Dr. Varella himself, he does not hold back. He calls this exactly what it is, a crime against public health. He's actually taking legal action against the social media platforms that profit from this stuff, which just shows you how deep this whole problem goes.
And this isn't random. There's a clear playbook. First, you create a new page, hardly any followers. Then, you paid a boosted deepfake video to a super targeted audience. You funnel anyone who's interested into a private WhatsApp chat to make the sale. And if the page gets shut down, no big deal. You just spin up a new one and do it all over again. It's a slick, repeatable machine designed to stay one step ahead.
Okay, so that's the obvious stuff. But what happens when the info isn't a deepfake? What do you do when you find advice from actual credentialed experts who totally disagree with each other? This is where things get really tricky.
Let's take a real-world example from men's health, a topic that's debated all over the internet. Is frequent masturbation a healthy, even preventative habit, or is it a harmful practice that could actually rewire your brain in a bad way?
So on one side, you have a urologist who explains that doing it too much can overstimulate your brain's reward system, kind of like a drug. He says this could lead to desensitization and maybe even contribute to erectile dysfunction. But then on the other side, you have another urologist who argues that for older men, it's actually a form of preventative care, like a necessary exercise to keep blood flowing and prevent tissues from atrophy. They're both experts. They both have good arguments, so who are you supposed to believe?
And that right there is the key takeaway. Online content, even when it's from a genuine expert, is still just general advice. It doesn't know your body, your medical history, or anything about your specific situation. And that's exactly why a one-size-fits-all answer from a video can never, ever replace a personalized conversation with your own doctor.
So if the internet is kind of a minefield, where do we go? Where can we find solid ground? The good news is, reliable sources do exist. You just have to know what you're looking for.
So for this topic, a source like this is basically the gold standard. This is an official guide from a national health authority, in this case, Brazil's Ministry of Health. Documents like these are based on broad scientific consensus. They're created for the public's well-being, not to make a profit.
And just look at the difference in the approach. According to the World Health Organization's definition, which the guide uses, Sexual health isn't about performance or some miracle cure. It's about a state of well-being, about being able to enjoy your sexuality safely and freely. It's a much more holistic view, and a huge contrast to the problem-focused stuff you see in those online ads.
And the advice that comes from this way of thinking, it's practical, it's based on evidence, and honestly, it's empowering. It's about getting to know your own body through self-examination, practicing good hygiene, talking openly with your partners, and using proven prevention methods like condoms. It's about seeing health as a habit, not a quick fix.
You know what else is great? It talks about aging in a really positive and reassuring way. It confirms that, yeah, sexuality changes as we get older, but it doesn't just disappear. Health is a lifelong journey, and older adults have every right to a satisfying and healthy sex life without any stigma or shame.
All right, so we've seen the disinformation machine, we've waded through the confusion of conflicting experts, and we've seen what a truly reliable source looks like. Now let's put all of that together into a practical toolkit that you can use every single day.
Here it is, your 5-point checklist. Think of it as your digital health BS detector. 1. Who's the source? Is it a recognized medical institution or some anonymous page that was created yesterday? 2. Question the promise. Does it sound way too good to be true? Does it use words like miracle? If so, it probably is. 3. Check for emotion. Is it using a dramatic story or fear to try and persuade you? 4. Look for real evidence. Does it cite actual scientific studies or just personal stories? And 5, the most important one. Always, always talk about health decisions with your own doctor. Because at the end of the day, it really all comes down to this one question. In an age where literally anyone can hit publish, becoming the gatekeeper for your own health information, is it just a nice idea? It's absolutely essential. The power to separate the facts from the fiction? Well, that power is in your hands.